today on Earth 11:11. Is the world about to end? It sure seems like it. Everything in our own life and in the outside world seems to be all blowing up at the same time. What is happening? Trust me, you've never heard this before. You won't even believe it. Everything's breaking down because the light has returned. So don't be in fear. If you're in fear, if you're in anger, you're going to be blindsided by all this change. You will see the change, and you're seeing the change ramp up simply because the light has increased. Things like the Schumann resonance, all these things are going up, but really the light has returned inside our own DNA, inside our own bodies. We are becoming God sovereign free again. We're becoming a light being. Don't believe it? You don't have to. I don't want you to believe a word I'm saying. I want you to experience this for yourself. You will be seeing it. You will be observing it. You will know it. So, the reason why everything's going on, it seems to be all happening all at the same time, is simply because the light is shining on all those little nooks and crannies, and so all the darkness is being seen by everyone. When it's seen by everyone, it can no longer hide. So it's coming up to be released and healed. So that's the biggest thing to know, is everyone's in fear thinking the world's about to end. Everyone is in this anger state, blaming everyone. We're all victims to outside forces that are doing this to us. When in fact, we are becoming ascended beings. We are becoming sovereign, which means there's no more victim mentalities. There's no more blaming the systems, blaming these Illuminati, the cabal, all these so-called bad people. All of them are simply playing a role. The role to wake you up, to allow you to see what has been hidden, to see what you have been allowing to happen. Because we can't change what we don't know. We can't change what we don't observe. So right now, we're observing everything. We're observing every single thing that's been hidden from us. Every one of our own habits, our own routines. Everything that we've been hiding from ourselves. So it's not just as a system, as a collective, as an earth. We are all increasing our vibration. And we will all be soon literally existing from a higher paradigm, a higher dimension. Like I said, don't believe a word I'm saying. You don't have to. You will observe this for yourself. Things are going to start really ramping up here because the light, via so-called solar flares, the Schumann resonance, all these things are happening, but really it's happening as a mirror. As above, so below. All these things are happening because they're happening inside our own bodies, in our own DNA. So, literally, we should all be extremely happy that all these things are coming up to be healed. All these bad people can no longer hide, so-called bad people, right? They're playing a role to wake us up. If we've been asleep and we've been allowing these things to happen continuously, we need something horrible to happen, typically, for us to see the truth. That's the biggest thing to know, is we typically need to see, need to know in order for us to change. People don't like to change. People do not like to change without being forced. So this is what happens, is our egos, all the programming is being broken down, is being taken away from us. This is why all the things that have been based on competition, on taking from others, on hiding the truth, on anything that is separate from love, pure love, anything that is separated from that is being removed. You'll see this on a huge basis. This is why people are waking up. This is why people's hearts seem to be awakening, why people seem to be having illnesses, diseases. Everything is teaching us what we need to know, what's been hidden from us. Everything is being shown to us for us to wake up, for us to change, for us to see what's been going on. Because we've been living a programmed life. We've been living a life based on complete programs instead of living from our hearts, living from the dreams of our life. We've been living life based on completely what we've been taught and ingrained to do, which is exactly what everyone has been doing. And it's the reason why society is based on this. Everything's based on completely programming us to do exactly what we're told to do, because it keeps the economies going. It keeps the systems in place. It keeps the governments in charge. It keeps us small. It keeps us hidden. It keeps us hiding from our own truth. It keeps us out of our hearts. Because if we were in our hearts, we would be not allowing all the stuff that's been going on to happen. And that's what's going on right now. The world is blowing up simply because the light has been increased. The light has returned. So every single thing that's hiding in the shadows, every person that's hiding in the shadows, so every single thing that's been hidden from us, not just in society and in the economy, all these supposedly bad politicians and bad people in the world, not just that stuff is being shown to us. Everything going on in our own personal life is being shown to us. We are seeing our own programs. We are seeing where we have just gone through the motions and allowed things to happen and not lived from our own truth and not lived from our own dreams of our hearts. Everything is coming up to be seen because all of the old is breaking down, simply because nothing of the old paradigm, of the old fear-based paradigms of taking our power and allowing us to be victims, none of that is going to be continuing. We're going to be collapsing all of it, and it's already literally collapsing. Our soul is taking over. Spirit is taking over. Don't believe it? Like I said, you don't have to. You will start noticing this for yourself. This is why in your own personal life, you'll notice how you're just simply done with a lot of stuff. You're done with these same jobs, with these same relationships where you're unhappy, these same routines. You're just simply done with the same old stuff, with being unhappy. We need to be in our hearts, following our biggest dreams, and that is what you're meant to do in this lifetime. We're not meant to live small lives based on getting a job, getting into debt, overspending, sitting around on the couch watching TV all night. All that's gonna go. So if you're seeing your life right now blow up, if you're seeing everyone being outed in the world, all the so-called bad people, if you're seeing all these disasters happen, Earth is purifying herself. We are all being purified. This is what happens when the darkness is healed. The darkness, all the shadow is coming up for us to see it and to change. And this is why in society, things can't just, it's like a train moving. You can't just have a train moving one direction and all of a sudden change directions and go the opposite way. Things have to break down. There's chaos, and this is how literally physics works. This is how reality works. This is how everything works. Things that need to change need to break down. Chaos usually happens for a while because that's the change. Things don't simply, all of our routines, the way we've been living, our spending habits, the way that we've been existing as a society, the way, what we've been allowing to happen. These things can't change overnight. This is why things need to be broken down. Our lives have to be broken down. The world has to be broken down in order for us to rebuild in the new. So you'll see this in the world and you'll see this in your own life. So start noticing where things are no longer bearable. Things are no longer working. You just can't stand the same old thing. You can't allow it to happen over and over again anymore. Start making those changes, because if you don't, you're going to be blindsided when things get ripped out from under you. The light has already shone onto all the things hidden in your life, in everyone's lives, in the world. So as things shine brighter and brighter, all the little darkness, all the little hidden things are going to start showing themselves more and more, in order for you to notice, for you to care, for you to change. And this is how society is going to change. It can't change overnight. We must have chaos. We must have things break down, because that's how you break apart all of the matrix of the old ways, the old routines, the old ways of existing. We have to break apart every single thing that's been going on first. Because, like I said, a train can't change tracks instantly and start going in a new direction. We all must see and want to change and know that change is coming, in order for us to really make the step forward into new routines, into new ways of existing, into amazing new lives. So, follow your heart. You will start having heart awakenings, whether it happens with people dying around you, whether it happens with illness. Maybe you lose a job, maybe you lose relationships, divorces, family issues, just constant, money issues. Everything is going to be showing you where you have been unconscious, where you have been allowing things to happen that shouldn't be, where you have been going based on old programming. Everything is going to start showing you in all facets of life, because this is not just in relationships. This is not just in the government. This is every single facet of reality as we know it. We are literally going to be existing in a higher dimension, the dimension of the fifth oneness unity consciousness. So everything of the old, which is separation consciousness, the old way of existing in fear, separate from our power, separate from the light, separate from our own dreams, all of this is dissolving. The separation is literally dissolving. That is what the darkness has been. That is what the shadow has been. We're going to be healing all of that and merging into the center point, which is the 0 point field of our own hearts. This is literally, every single person is going to be healing all of this, and we're going to be awakened in many different ways until we change, until we see what needs to be done. We need to see it, we need to observe it, and we need to know it in order for us to want to change. Start observing things happening in the world. Injustices happening in the world to other people, to your own family members, maybe to yourself. And instead of being angry, instead of being in fear, instead of being the victim, see it from a new perspective. Literally shift yourself to see something from a new perspective, to realize that issue, that mirror in the outside world is simply showing you what you need to know. It's teaching you a lesson, not in a bad way, but in a good way, to show you the shadow, to show you what actually is the truth. Because everyone in the world has been allowing things to happen instead of living their true life from their own hearts. We should all be existing from our hearts and living life. So we should all be existing from our hearts and living life based on our highest dreams for this lifetime. Our soul is coming through and ensuring that everything of the old is being healed. Not just in our lives, in society. And this is why we all must observe, be neutral, and see the love, see the opportunity in every single bad thing happening. See how it's making us see the light. See how it's making us see the darkness. And observe and change. So, really, you will start observing in the world, in the political systems, the governments, the educational systems, the medical systems. You will start observing these things in your own life, with your financial issues, with your health issues, with family issues. It goes on and on and on all facets of life, because this is reality that's changing. Literally, we're going to be existing in a higher paradigm of the fifth dimension and higher, which is the 0 point of our own God, sovereign, free soul state of unity consciousness. So we'll see you soon on Earth 1111, and we'll talk about lots more. Thanks.